This video is not intended for viewers under the age of 18. The story and scenes in the video are meant for entertainment purposes only. Caroline Weaver stood at the edge of her living room, watching the rain paint the windows with long, trembling lines. The house was quiet, except for the soft ticking of the grandfather clock. It had been almost a year since Martin left her, and while the silence used to be unbearable, she had grown to find comfort in it. Emily, her daughter, was returning home from university for the weekend, and she wasn't coming alone. Emily's boyfriend, Jake, would be staying with them. Caroline had only met him once, briefly, and remembered feeling an odd discomfort. He was polite, of course, and charming, but there was something in the way he looked at her, something that lingered half a second too long. She sighed, brushing a curl from her cheek as she moved to prepare the guest room. Jake would be staying in the room adjacent to hers. That proximity gave her pause, but she brushed it off. It was only for the weekend. What could possibly go wrong? When Emily and Jake finally arrived, the house seemed to come alive again. Emily's laugh filled the space like music, and Caroline felt a twinge of envy mixed with pride. Jake greeted Caroline with a firm handshake and a warm smile. She noted, again, his eyes, how they seemed to look through her, not just at her. The night passed with laughter, wine, and casual conversation. Caroline was careful to keep her distance, though she caught Jake glancing at her once, then quickly looking away. She told herself it was nothing. But deep down, something stirred. Something dangerous and buried. It was Sunday morning, and Caroline had woken early. The house was still. She enjoyed these private moments. Hot coffee, a few pages of her favorite book, and the sound of birds outside. She decided to shower, not bothering to lock the door to the hallway. After all, Emily and Jake were likely still asleep. The warm water felt heavenly. As the steam filled the bathroom, so did her thoughts, wandering to places she wouldn't admit even to herself. She wasn't dead. She wasn't invisible. She could still feel wanted. Wrapped in only a towel, she stepped into the hallway, headed toward her bedroom. The air was cool, her skin still damp. As she turned the corner, there he was. Jake, standing by the guest room door, shirtless, eyes wide. They locked eyes, hers in shock, his in something else. The towel slipped slightly, and Caroline quickly clutched it tighter, heat rushing to her cheeks. I'm so sorry, Jake stammered, turning away. I didn't mean. She disappeared into her room, heart pounding. What just happened? She leaned against the closed door, her breath shaky. It was just an accident, but the image of his eyes, how they lingered, etched itself into her mind. Jake, too, sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the floor. It wasn't just the sight of her. It was what it awoke in him, something he shouldn't feel, something he couldn't ignore. The mood at breakfast was strange. Emily chatted as usual, but there was a static charge in the air. Caroline couldn't meet Jake's eyes. Jake tried to act normal, but he found himself studying Caroline's face when she wasn't looking. Later that afternoon, Emily went to visit an old friend in town, leaving Caroline and Jake alone in the house. The silence was thick. Caroline retreated to the garden with a book, but her thoughts betrayed her. The way Jake had looked at her, was it just embarrassment or something else? Jake appeared behind her with a cup of tea. Emily said you like Earl Grey. Caroline looked up, surprised. Thank you. He sat beside her on the wooden bench. For a moment, neither of them spoke. About this morning, Jake began, I didn't mean to make things awkward. Caroline forced a smile. It was an accident. Let's just forget it. He looked at her, truly looked at her, and there was something honest in his eyes. You're beautiful, he said softly. Her breath caught. Jake? I know I shouldn't say that, he said quickly, standing. She shook her head. You're young. You don't understand. But the truth was, she needed to hear it. She didn't stop him, and he didn't stop looking. You can't sleep either? He asked. She shook her head. He stepped closer. I meant what I said earlier. You're not just beautiful. You're captivating. She laughed, a nervous, disbelieving sound. I'm your girlfriend's mother. Jake's voice was a whisper now. And you're still a woman, a stunning one. Her hand trembled on the counter. Jake, don't. He leaned in. Tell me to stop, and I will. Silence. The air between them crackled. Then she turned and left, heart hammering. She didn't say stop, but she didn't say anything. And that was enough. The next day, Emily was busy painting in the attic studio. Caroline was reorganizing books in the study when Jake came in, holding a paperback. Thought you might like this, he said. She took it without a word. Their hands touched briefly. Electricity surged between them. I can't stop thinking about you, he admitted, stepping closer. I know it's wrong, but it's real. She stared at him, frozen. And then it happened. He kissed her. Soft, careful, full of hesitation and longing. And for 1 second, she kissed him back. Just one. Then she pulled away. This can't happen, she whispered. Emily, she loves you. Jake nodded slowly. I know, I'm sorry. But his eyes said he wasn't. And her heart screamed for something she couldn't have. Emily found the book later that day, Caroline's name scrawled in the margin, and Jake's handwriting on a note inside. You're not invisible. Not to me. Her stomach dropped. That night, she confronted Jake. What's going on between you and my mom? Jake tried to lie, but the guilt was all over his face. Emily burst into Caroline's room, tears streaming. How could you? You're my mother. Caroline was speechless. The pain in her daughter's voice shattered something inside her. I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. No, Emily said coldly. It was betrayal. The house fell into silence. The wound had been opened, and there was no going back. Jake left the next morning. Emily packed her things in tears and returned to university early. She didn't speak to Caroline for weeks. Caroline sat alone in the same silence she once found comfort in. Now it was unbearable. She had wanted to feel alive again, and she did. But the cost was too high. Months passed. She wrote letters to Emily, all unanswered. Eventually, a message came. One line. I still love you, Mom, but I need time. Caroline wept. In the mirror, she didn't see a villain. She saw a woman, flawed, human, desperate for connection. And though she had made a terrible mistake, she knew one truth. She was still alive. And somehow, someday, she would find forgiveness.